Let's see. Okay, so I'm just trying to set up my PowerPoint here. All right, I'm hoping you guys can see my screen. I have no clue what this looks like because this is kind of my first trial and error. But I wanted to give you some good tips, some good, I think I just unshared my screen. Or maybe I didn't. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really sure what it looks like on my end. And yeah, so we'll see. Actually, I want to change the screen that we're sharing on. So we're going to share a window, PowerPoint slideshow. Okay, I'll start here, or I'll wait a few more seconds till maybe someone comes on or whatever. Hey, my friends, welcome to today's show. I'm super excited to kind of get started with this and help you understand what we're doing, where we're going, and how this is going to work. So today I wanted to give you the 30-day discipline challenge, and it's all about becoming stronger, steadier you. And this is all about, first, it's not about motivation. Oftentimes we want you to be motivated. We want you to have this large outcome. And it's about something that actually will hold you in your real life. It's something about something that is going to sustain you in the long run, because we never really understand or know or see where life is going to take us. So let's just kind of keep moving on with this. All right, perfect. So we need to understand that discipline is a real problem, because it feels heavier for one reason. And the reason is that it makes us feel like we're broken. When we're not disciplined enough to create the life that we want, when we're not following the life that we want to create, we feel like we're completely broken. We feel like we're not allowing ourselves to live the life that we want. But it's because that it's built wrong. It's built on the wrong level. And when it's built on the wrong level, I'm just trying to figure out how to my screen. I'm just trying to see. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really know what's going on here. So I'll just keep teaching, and it'll look interesting for the live, and that'll be that. So, like I said, discipline feels heavier for one reason, and it's basically because when we don't respond or react the way that we want to, we feel like we're missing out on the life that we want, and we're fighting ourselves, right? Do you feel like you're fighting yourself sometimes? You feel like when you want to do something, when I create that discipline, something happens within your life, and it's like, man, I'm just fighting this. I'm not being the person I want to be. And it doesn't come down to it has nothing to do with the problem per se. It has to do with the system that you're dealing with within that problem. And when you focus on the system and not the problem, that is when you're going to be able to adjust your life. That's when you're going to be able to create that outcome and that life that you truly want to create, because you're adjusting it properly. You're creating it properly. Now, it's not that you're not consistent. It's that you're not supported. So what do I mean by that? So you start strong, but fading happens within that life. You fade because you don't have the right systems underneath to support that goal, to support that discipline, to support that outcome that you're going after. And we all know what to do. We all know the life that we want to live. We all know how we want to create this and how we want to move into that life. like I said, we're built on the wrong systems. Outcome, we're not doing it right. And so this is the way discipline is right now. Okay. Discipline is not punishment, willpower, or motivation, right? Willpower, it collapses under stress. We're like, I'm going to push through. I'm going to, be like this. I'm going to push harder. I'm going to punish myself. I'm going to discipline myself. And it never works out in the long run because we don't have the right systems. And motivation is state dependent, right? You have to be in a great mood to motivate yourself to get to the gym. You have to be in a great mood to motivate yourself to build that business. You have to be in a great mood to motivate. And that's not discipline, right? Discipline must survive real life. So when things come into your life, when trouble starts, when different situations happen in your life, discipline's going to fall because you're not working on the right motivation. So here's the new definition for, I can't move me. I wish I could, because I don't know. Maybe you guys can move me on your screen. I don't know. So discipline, the new definition, is a system you don't have to fight. That's what discipline is, right? It's a system you don't have to fight. And when you're not fighting discipline, it should feel steady, feel, that there's no force required. You get up, you kind of do what you want to do, you create that outcome that you want to create, and that's the way it works for you, because you're creating that life that you truly live. And that's where discipline is so life-changing. We don't fail. I'm trying to get back here. We don't fail, but our strategies fail. The things that we want to do within our life fail, but we don't fail per se ourselves. Okay. It's a lesson. So why discipline fails under stress? Because stress hands control to that survival mode. So when you're fighting through the situation, when you're fighting through those tough times in your life, discipline is going to fail because you're stressed. You're not in that perfect moment. And that's when discipline works. Discipline works when you're in that perfect moment, when you can create that life, when you can create that outcome that you want to create. Because discipline is, how do I say this? Your survival brain. So we all have these different brains in our mind, and the survival part of your brain prioritizes your safety over whatever you're going to do. It doesn't know if it's going to harm you, pain, whatever it is, but your mind is going to create that outcome. It's going to create that protection within your brain so that you don't achieve the goals, because I don't know what's actually going to happen if I go after these goals. So your brain's going, you know what? You might fail, so we're not going to do it at all. And then discipline, just like I said, falls under stress. So what we need to do is we need to build the right system. Stress changes the rules, right? Oftentimes when we create that life that we want and we go after the goals that we want, and we're, happy and motivated and living the perfect life, and then stress hits, we're like, oh man, I can't do that anymore. I'm a big person to attest to this. Is I always create these workout routines, and they're crazy, right? And I always fail at them because I haven't set the right system. And what we have to do is we have to set the system under stress. And that's where we're going to get to today. Because if you can set a goal and even on your worst day hit that goal, then you're going to be able to create that lifestyle change. You're going to be able to create that identity of who you are, because you're creating that stability, you're creating that system within your life, and it is able to be managed under those stressful times. Broken promises create resistance, right? This is one of the biggest key elements that people don't understand. When you're telling yourself, I'm going after this goal, but how many goals have we gone after and not hit? Yeah, you know what? I haven't. Your brain kind of tells you, it's like, you made a promise a week ago that we were going to do this and you broke it. So what's different within today? We're our own worst enemy. And when we want to create that outcome, we want to create what we're going after, it just harms us because we're not prepared enough to go after those, the miniature, the small goals. And then we break promises within ourselves. And then we don't go after the goals that we want because we keep breaking the promises. So here's the wrong order of change that most people try to do first. So here's the order we try. We go, okay, I'm going to act the way that I want to act. Okay. Behavior without regulation, it's going to collapse. You're not going to be able to sustain that goal or that change that you want to create. And then we're going to go, okay, I'm going to create my identity through this behavior. So I'm going to act this way, and now it's going to become who I am. But identity without evidence feels fake. It's like, wishing you were, the fittest guy in the world, but yet you don't create. So you're like, I'm going to hit the gym and I'm going to feel like I'm fit, but you're not, because you haven't created that outcome. And then finally, we create the regulation. So we behave this way, which creates our identity, and then it's regulated, which actually creates more resistance. So that's the wrong way to do it, right? That's the way we don't want to do it. So here's the correct order, the order that actually works, my friends. First, we do small, repeatable actions. Small, repeatable actions. Some of the goals that I do, or I've trained people to do, it's like just write one sentence in your journal. Just spend 5 minutes in the gym. People are like 5 minutes isn't going to do anything. Well, it might not in the beginning, but it's going to get you to the gym. It's going to get you writing in your journal. It's going to get you to beginning the process. And when you begin the process, that's when your system begins to change, because your mind goes, okay, look, I've made this one promise to myself. I'm going to hit the gym for 5 minutes. Is 5 minutes really hard? No. So we go to the gym for 5 minutes, and then you're like, okay, you leave the gym, and then you do it again and again and again. Your brain goes, okay, we're telling ourselves that we're going to hit the gym. We're telling ourselves we're going to do this action. We actually follow through. Evidence creates proof, and proof creates self-trust. So when you're doing things just small, this is going to create that, and we'll go on to the next one here, that identity reinforcement. Because when you regulate first and then you build that evidence second, this is where it creates that outcome. Going, okay, I can live this life because I'm creating the small, repeatable actions, which are creating who I am. And that's enforcing your identity. I am someone that completes the goals. I am someone that promises myself to have that outcome that I want. I am that person that is physically fit because I do what I need. And then this builds confidence. And confidence, my friend, is a byproduct of those other enforcements. When you're, doing these small actions, and which is an identity reinforcement, which is enforcing your identity, then you build that confidence that you want to build. Because, my friend, real discipline, it's alignment. It's alignment with what you want to do. It's alignment with what you're doing each and every day. That's when your life is going to be created. Because we need to design for bad days, right? Not built for reality, not perfection. My friend, how many people are actually motivated every single morning to get up, to go to the gym, to go to work, to do the things that we need to do? How many people are actually motivated, right? I know I'm not. I have to design my life for the days that I'm just like, oh, I just really don't feel like doing this today. Because if your plan needs motivation, it's too big. If your plan needs that I gotta be high energy, I gotta feel like I can do it, I got motivated to go after this, your plan's gonna fail. And that's why these gyms are full in January, but there's no one at the gym because they're relying on motivation instead of creating a system within their life that it's going to create this outcome that you want to create. So I have a challenge that we want to do over the next 30 days. Okay. What this challenge is not, we're not going to create some extreme habits. We're not going to create this hustle and bustle moving forward into your life. We're not going to have this motivational hype. We're not going to create this personality transplant, right? We're not going to overhaul your whole life. What we're going to do is we're going to do something very small. So what the next 30 days is going to train, it's going to train your self-trust. It's going to train your consistency under stress. It's going to train identity through evidence, because you're going to be able to believe the things that you are going to say you're going to do. And when you believe what you say, what you're going to do, that is when your life is going to change. Because you want to be reliable to yourself. Who are you? And when you are who you are supposed to be, and you tell yourself and you create that, that's when you're going to create the life that you want to create. So the structure that I'm going to show you is simple, small, and repeatable. That is it. Nothing, no big life overhaul, no big life changes. We're just over the next 30 days. I always say, if you can create, people talk about creating, like making yourself 1% better every day. What is 1%? Right? It's a small change every single day. And if you could do a 1% change every day, your life is going to be 365% better or drastically changed in the next year. But we're like, no, I need to be 365% better today. I need to overhaul my life. And then stress hits and we don't do it. And then we're right back at square one. How many of you, my friends, are done restarting? And that's what I want to reinforce today. We're not restarting. We're creating these small, repeatable, simple steps to create that life that we want to create. And I looked at the slide and I was like, I can't really read it. So if you want consistency, you need structure. And the structure to this challenge is going to be delivered to your email. So what I want you to do is basically we'll be just checking our emails it's going to be 30 days, and you're going to have a consistency email for 30 days. Okay. And we're going to hold you accountable. We're going to show you, and we're going to really understand what we want to do within our lives. And we want to create that outcome, but it has to be done through small, repeatable steps. Okay. So there's going to be 30 emails over a 30-day period. So what do we want to expect for this? You're going to have some days that feel easy. You're going to have some days that feel flat. Maybe you miss once, but my friend, that's not failure. That's restarting, or that's not just kind of adjusting. We're going to have bad days over the next 30 days here, my friend. So don't beat yourself up. Quitting is the only way this doesn't work. If you miss a day, just rewatch that day or re-listen to that day or reread that email. But if you quit at day 5 or you quit at day 10 and don't read the email, don't listen to the audio, that's where you're going to fail. Not if you miss a day. Okay? So I want you to make sure that you're following along. I want you to make sure that you're doing this, because you don't need to become someone new. You are who you decide you want to become. Who do you want to be? Right? You're not broken. Most of the time we feel like we're broken. Oh, I can't create this life that I want because I'm broken. You're not broken. You don't need more motivation. There's enough motivation out there. You need a system, my friend, that's going to support you for those rough days. Right? This is about becoming stronger, becoming steadier, and more self-trusting one day at a time. So are you ready? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you're ready to take on this challenge. Because if you're ready to take on this challenge, you're going to change your life. So here it is. So it's a 30-day discipline challenge. Scan the QR code right there. You just put your email address in, and then you will receive those emails every single day. My friend, this is what's going to change your life. This is what's going to create that outcome, those goals, that the product, the identity of who you want to be. I'm not going to send you motivation. I'm not going to send you hype you up. I'm going to give you structured tools that you can use every day to remind yourself that you have what it takes to build that outcome. But do it small and strategic. Structure changes everything. And my friend, your change is coming ahead. So that's it for today. I will be coming live again next Wednesday. We're going to do another great teaching. So tune in for that. I thank you for being on. I thank you for those who are watching this recording. Sign up for that challenge because my friend, I promise you in 30 days, it will change your life. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next live.